Hi, I'm Alicia Butler Pierre, producer and host of the Business Infrastructure Podcast, the show where we share practical tips, tools, and tactics to scale your fast growing small business with less pain. The video you're about to watch is a snippet of my interview with Cheryl Taylor. Make sure you subscribe so that you can continue to receive resources like this to scale without the chaos. Let's get to the video. The Project Management Institute, also known as PMI, defines project management as the use of specific knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to deliver something of value to people. This is the Business Infrastructure Podcast, the show where we offer strategies, tactics, and resources to cure back office blues and to keep your business operating as good on the inside as it looks on the outside. I'm Alicia Butler Pierre, and I'll be your guide as we learn from the queen of project management and how she managed the implementation of a new technology for the largest jail south of the Mississippi River. This episode is brought to you by Equilibria Incorporated, the company behind this podcast, where we design scale-ready business infrastructure for fast-growing small businesses. Cheryl Taylor is the co-founder of TPM Services, a project management consultancy. She's also currently a vice president at Common Spirit Health. It's been said that the most effective leaders are those who are willing to try new things and can accomplish big goals through others. And as you'll soon discover, Cheryl is the embodiment of an effective leader. This is episode 220. Change is coming. Cheryl Taylor describes how she managed a large jail technology upgrade.
Hey, I'm Cheryl Taylor. I was born in Birmingham, Alabama. My career actually started with Bell South, and I worked in Bell South for many years. But one day at lunch break, a friend asked me if I would go with her to a job fair. And I said, sure. And we put on our walking shoes and walked maybe 2 blocks from 675 West Peachtree down the street to the job fair. And I thought, gosh, this is so interesting. I think I'll just participate. I had no plans of looking for a new job. I liked the job that I was currently doing. And I went to the PwC job booth, and there shared my work experience, what I was doing at Bell South at the time, and received a job offer. Before I could get back to my office, they were calling me, offering me a job. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is so exciting.
Bell South was a large telecommunications company headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia, the city in the southeastern part of the U.S. where Cheryl and her friend went to that career fair.
So I went in and shared with my director at the time. I was a senior manager that I had an offer from PricewaterhouseCoopers, and I was just curious if they could match the offer. It was a good increase in pay. And they said, no, sorry, we can't match the offer, but this is what we can do. We had a sabbatical program at the time that allowed employees to take up to a 2-year sabbatical. And if you didn't like what you were doing, after 2 years, you could come back into your same level of position.
This sounds too good to be true. But then again, this was back in the 90s, on the tail end of a time when employees could, and often did, spend an entire career at one company. And Cheryl had an important decision to make. Should she do it? Either way, she couldn't lose.
So I took the 2-year sabbatical, but I never came back. At PwC, they had just won a large award for Primerica Insurance Company, and they were re-engineering and transforming their financials. I was a senior project manager on the financials implementation. It was a very exciting time.
An exciting time for several reasons. This was also around the time that golf legend Tiger Woods played his first tournament in Atlanta.
I was so anxious to see Tiger Woods, but on the way to seeing him, I ran into friends and they were starting a new business and they were looking for a project director. And I said, oh gosh, I could do that job. I just started with PricewaterhouseCoopers. I really like my job. And they said, oh, well, why don't you just send us an offer? So I wrote an offer that I'm sure they'll refuse, but they did not refuse. They accepted the offer. So I found myself with another offer. I thought, oh gosh, this is going to be a fun journey. So I resigned from PricewaterhouseCoopers and I went to work for a startup. They had just won a large award to do an implementation for the city of Atlanta to replace their human resource and payroll systems with PeopleSoft, which was new technology at the time.
This massive effort to replace the technology would not only test Cheryl's resolve as a project manager, but would also lay the groundwork for future technology upgrade projects within local government.
It was a grueling implementation. We had to scale everything. It was a small scale, but it was a big scale. I was working there completing that particular project. A friend received a call from a recruiter and they were looking for a project manager that had PeopleSoft experience. And the friend referred them to me. And then I received an offer at the end of that 12-month implementation to go work for AGO Resources. So that was my migration from telephony to consulting, and then to energy.
By being open-minded and saying yes to opportunities to sharpen her project management saw, Cheryl successfully transitioned from a large corporation to a Big Four consulting firm, onto a startup with a government contract, and then back to a large corporation.
I worked for AGO Resources for 6 years, from 2000 to 2006. And it was during that period of time that I co-founded TPM Services with my business partner.
And it was around this time that I first met Cheryl. I remember it so well. She invited me into her home for a meeting. I was struck by the beauty of her home, her warm personality, and our engaging conversation. Turns out we were both in the process of securing certifications for our businesses. In the U.S., women, veteran, and minority-owned businesses can undergo a rigorous certification process to increase their chances of securing large government and corporate contracts.
So the journey on certifications was interesting. I became a certified project manager in 2006, but I received my master's degree in project management in 1993. So I'd been working as a project manager for quite a while, just had not finalized that credential. But more so, the credential that the company required for some of the larger contracts was just being a certified minority-owned business.
I hope you enjoyed watching this video. You can catch the full interview by going to businessinfrastructure.tv or by clicking the link below in the description box. Don't forget to subscribe so that you'll know exactly when the next episode drops. See you in the next video.
Join us next week for another episode of Business Infrastructure with Alicia Butler-Pierre.